1.6 metres and walked 1.6 kilometres. And I'm just sitting on top of the hill, and you can see the other two hills in the Eildons, and then spread out below us is beautiful Scottish borders. It's a lovely sunny day, I'm pleased to say. So we've got a number of towns visible. So here we've got Melrose down in front of us. Over there in that valley is Galashiels. If we go around that way, Selkirk is sort of down in there, and Hawick is over that ridge, and then you've got St Oswald's. St Oswald's there, and Newtown there. Jedburgh is over in that direction. That is the English border there. That's the Cheviot on the horizon. That is the viaduct there, the viaduct over the River Tweed, which you can see curling away around there and up that way. Yeah, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it a nice place? Isn't it a beautiful place to be? Wouldn't you like to be here? Of course you would. So I've been up here for about 3 minutes or so. I've just about got my breath back. Now we can see right peeking there, just over the horizon, that is Melrose Abbey, which is open to the public, and I think they can see from here that they're taking down scaffolding, so that's a good sign. Well, I've been looking forward to that for quite a while. And behind the Abbey is the Chain Bridge, which I've crossed on stream many times, off towards Ganside. Yeah, so I've been to so many places within this view. Well, you can see about 8 miles up that way, maybe 12, 15 across that way. We can almost see to the coast, so something like, oh, Brad Pitt, there's no snowdrops, all the snowdrops have gone, but the daffodils are going. We can see about 25 miles or so across, nearly towards Berwick, so nearly towards the sea. And the English border is about 25, 30 miles. We've got little specks of yellow, so you can see the yellow fields. So that is, I think you call it canola, we call it rape here in the UK. There's little fields of, quite big fields of yellow spotted around. There you can see it beginning to grow in those fields above Ganside. We put that pile of stones there. Well, I mean, so there's been people climbing these hills for 10,000 years. Back to the last ice age, basically. So the Romans had a signal station on top of this hill, like about 140 AD, and before that it was the who were a Celtic and Britannic people who lived in this area before the Romans, and they built a settlement here. Just about over the ridge, you can see there's like terraces for roundhouses, and you know, the buildings that the Celts lived in. And they've got there's forts all over this landscape. So, for example, you see that ridge there. There was a fort on top of that ridge, and there's a broch over, where are we? That hill there had a broch on it, and there's another one up there, and a broch rock is a kind of a defensive building, probably a defensive building, a roundhouse, small roundhouse, maybe 5-8 metres across, built of stone and built often 2 or 3 stories on top of a hill. Could be a military building, a lookout, a kind of a base for a quick, reconnaissance, see who's coming and going. Could be people live there. It could be maybe a chieftain. It could be something ceremonial. But there's rocks and forts all over this landscape. Any old catapults? Well, the Romans would have used catapults or ballistas when they were invading. I just saw a bee over there, right on top of the hill. Yeah, they used modern siege weapons. And if you go to the castle over at Calaverock, that's one of the beautiful massive castles in Scotland. They've got a recreation of I think it's a ballista, which fired. It looks kind of like a gigantic crossbow, and you'd set it up on the ground, and you'd use. I think you would have like animal sinews and so on, make ropes, and you'd pull them back, and it would fire missiles at your enemies or at your enemies' rocks, perhaps. And on this hill, there's been lots of stuff found from the Romans and from the Celts. So arrowheads and armour, earthenware, pottery, horse brasses, horse stuff. Because down in this field here, Gregory Fitz. I'm going to the castle, not today. In this field, that is the site of a Roman camp called Trimontium. And Trimontium was a cavalry fort set up by, I forget his name. It's not Agricola. One of the Roman emperors who came here. I'll have to remind myself. Anyway, he set up camp there, and it's called Trimontium because 1, 2, 3 hills. Literally the camp of 3 hills. Swords, yes. There have been all sorts of weapons, swords and lances and helmets, all sorts of things found here in this area. Left behind when they were retreating, perhaps. Lots of coins. You can't go searching for that sort of stuff. Because it's a scheduled ancient monument, you have to have official permission to go detecting, because it's very, very important historical evidence. So you can't just go about. And if you do happen to find anything, if you're a farmer and you happen to plough up a coin or an arrowhead or something like that, you've got to report it. Be investigated. And people do find lots of ancient things, things that are thousands of years old, been in the grounds since the Romans and before. And not just going back to that time, but you had people like Oliver Cromwell here, Robert the Bruce, William Wallace, reputedly. So you would that hill there, reputedly, William Wallace stayed, Braveheart, I'm talking about, to use the vernacular, stayed there while he was planning battles up on top of Meagle Hill there. Mel Gibson, yes. And there's a massive boulder, huge, sort of that wide sort of thing, a massive boulder on top of the hill called Wallace's Pudding Stain. Supposedly, lots of folklore, lots of stories. There is in the valley between these 2 hills down there. There's a little glen, a little crack in the ground. Supposedly, local says that is the way to enter Elfland, where elves and fairies and whatnot live. And if you go down there, you spend food on the rocky land? Well, you see, I mean, all this greenery, this is all, especially down there beside the river, this is all wheat and oats and barley and stuff like that. And then you, traditionally, you'd have cattle and sheep. So you get sheep on the uplands, you know, the hilltops, and you get cattle down on the lower slopes. And people would really survive on meat as much as any crops that they would grow. So yeah, you wouldn't grow right up on the hilltops here. This is, you know, only good for heather. But I mean, you can see, well, there's some sheep down there. Let's zoom in. Sheep on the lower slopes, and then, as I say, you've got rape over there and plenty of arable land too. And there'd be hunting as well, so you'd hunt for deer and rabbits and ducks, and you fish as well. There's plenty of rivers with salmon and trout in them. So yeah, I mean, you can sustain decent populations here, no doubt. It's turning into quite a nice day. It's quite pleasant. Boar, well, not anymore. We used to get boar, bear. Used to get wolves here as well. You know, 1,000 years ago, perhaps. Foxes, badgers, eagles, sometimes. Nothing that's dangerous to people. Be a little bit careful where the footing's a bit slippy. It's easy to stand on one of these stones and roll it down like that, which you don't want to do. So in a few months, sort of autumn, September time, all this heather will burst into a beautiful purple life. It'll be gorgeous. Even more gorgeous, that is. Look at the clouds. Yeah, isn't it pretty? I'm just thinking which way I want to go. Do I want to go down to the left and around that way through the forest? I think maybe I do. There's very few people here. I think I've seen six folks so far on my climb up here. Well, I should resume my watch, shouldn't I? So let's resume that. There we go. Okay. Oops. Yeah, I'm wearing my good walking ankle boots to stop me going over on my ankles and stop me slipping too badly. Look at the beautiful gorse here, the gorse flowers. Lovely dash of gold. You can see the paths going up the mid-Eildon hill. And you can see where it's too steep for even the heather to grow. No dog walkers. Yes, one of the people that I saw had a dog. That's all, really. Not many folk around. I think there's somebody. Now, there's nothing on top of that hill, so that little thing you can see must be a person. So there's a person over there. I don't think there's anybody at all on the mid-Eildon. Don't see anyone. And you know, it's a Saturday afternoon. It's a nice, reasonably sunny, not too hot, not too cold day in April, and there's nobody here. Just imagine if this was the Lake District or in the Pennines or a lot of Wales or the Highlands. You know, this would be hoaching with folk, but it's empty. Nobody here. We're all alone. so quiet. Just the fact that I can hear an airplane coming past somewhere just highlights the fact that it's completely quiet. Aside from that, which is brilliant. Hello. So we'll get down to this what's called the saddle. No Sailmaster windmills. There are some windmills around the other side. There'll be cell towers around in the villages. There'll be one like, that's too close for Danham, that isn't it? So that'll be, what's that village going to be? Bowden, it must be. So there'll be cell towers there in Bowden, and if we come around, we can see in Galashiels there's plenty of towers. Just as we come round the horizon of the hill. I think maybe we'll go down to the right. So we've got a choice of going either way there. So one person coming up the hill, so we can get down that path where that person's walking up, or we can go down that path there, off the saddle. I shall decide in a moment. So if I fall and break my ankle or something, I would be taken to that hospital. I would probably get a helicopter from here down to the hospital. It maintains paths. Well, there's a group of walking enthusiasts, the Melrose Path group, that maintain the paths. They're sort of self-maintaining in a way, just through the people walking on them. They don't really require a lot of maintenance. There's sufficient people to keep the paths clear, but not really so many that they get damaged too badly. There's one or two signs around saying, take that path, not this path. Other than that, there's not much. Right, so decision time. Do we go left or right? I think we're going to go. We'll go to the right. I reckon. I'm just seeing how much battery life I've got. It says 61%. I shall stay on for the moment. There's the first tree that we've passed. There's not many around. Well, there's a couple of trees and there's a few that I didn't spot. Not many though, not many. Still among the heather. Maybe a bit of dryness. Well, need a little bit of dry to dry out the last remaining bits of mud on the path. Can you homestead on the land? Do you mean like, can you just set up your own house? No. That's not allowed. Not since the Romans were here is that allowed. Although, no, you gotta have planning permission. If you tried setting up your own house, you'd quickly be removed. Camper vans, yes, you can. So all of this entire landscape, in fact, pretty much the whole of Scotland, is totally free for people to do whatever they like, as long as they're not damaging it or doing anything permanent. You can walk, you can camp, you can cycle, anything you want, as long as you're respecting the land. So it doesn't matter if it's private property or not, it's open to the public, as long as it's not somebody's garden. But if it's a forest, if it's a field. Yeah, it's available for public use, sensible public use. I suspect that trying to drive a camper van up here would be frowned upon. But if you can find somewhere nice and easy and accessible, no problem. So we'll not do the other hills today, I think. We'll go back down towards civilization. I'm just, as I say, I'm keeping one eye on my battery. I can feel the wind getting up a little bit. So I want to take some in fact, I want to take this picture. This is a pleasant view here. So I think what I'll do is I shall abandon stream and take some pictures, probably put them on the Discord, and might come back on later. I'll see if I feel like it. Yeah, anyway, this is the Eildon Hills. Stop there. Thanks for watching, and I'll possibly catch you. Thanks for make sure you're following, by the way.